Hey, so sports performance is such a huge industry, and it is awesome because we're talking about optimizing human performance so that you can just do some of the most incredible things. Athletics is kind of the pinnacle of what humans can do with their body when you're completely tuned in, and I love it. So my wife and I, Dr. Natalie and myself, I'm Dr. Lee, we thought we were going to go down the realm of being sports chiropractors. And almost every professional team out there today, whether it's NFL, the MLB, soccer, they all have team chiropractors. And so many people, they know the value of chiropractic when your body is out of sorts. Chiropractic is phenomenal at getting your body to heal naturally from the inside out and putting things back together. So we actually went down that path. We have our master's in sports science in addition to being doctors of chiropractic. And so we were going to tie it all together. And we spent probably a year and a half in doing NCAA training rooms, taking care of basketball players, rugby players, softball players, soccer players. And what we quickly found out was that we never wanted to do that. We're like, absolutely not. We have no desire to be in that space, in that environment. And it wasn't because we weren't interested in taking care of athletes. In fact, it was the complete opposite. We learned that there is a political structure to the whole training room facility. And you have athletic trainers who are at the very top of that hierarchy, and their whole goal is to work with the coach in order to get athletes that are being paid a lot of money, either through scholarships, if they're at the collegiate level, or through, or professionally, they're getting paid a lot of money, obviously through salary and wages. And so their goal is to make sure that those players get back and they're being able to be utilized as quickly as possible. But that immediately turns people into commodities as opposed to what's right for their well-being or even their optimal performance, because it depends now on not whether or not an injury is going to fully heal up before we put them back in, but it's like, okay, if we put them back in, what is the risk factor that they might re-injure this for the long run, and how long is this person actually going to be useful to us on the team as it stands? Were they rising up in their career? Are they flatlining? And so they make decisions on care based on those types of data points. And it was just disgusting. We had a point where actually I almost got kicked out of the program because there was a guy who had 8 concussions. And I got almost kicked out of the master's program because the guy I was taking care of had 8 concussions, looked at him on the table. He was tearing his hamstring every single time he went for a light jog. He's 18 years old. They spent, this guy was a scholarship rugby player. And they didn't care how many concussions he had. They didn't care that he was clinically depressed and he had severe anxiety, and yet he was built like a tank. He looked phenomenal. I mean, the guy was chiseled up and he looked like just an incredible athlete, but the guy was miserable. He couldn't read a single page without having a severe migraine. We had to shut off the lights. And they were basically dictating what I could or could not do with this person, and I was restricted to only working on certain things that they approved, which I was just completely at odds with, because it was not what this person needed. And I actually sent him outside to somewhere to someone who could help him, because I wasn't being allowed to do what he needed. And they almost kicked me out from the top down. The athletic trainer wanted me out of the program. Because I was trying to do the right thing and taking care of this person, because nobody else cared. Nobody else cared. They were just, how fast can we get this person back on back out there? And I'm all about that too. I want to get people back on the field. The thing is, there's that structure that we couldn't handle. So my wife and I, we quickly realized that that's not the direction we wanted to go. And as we started being in that world more and more, we realized that most top athletes, even though they have the care at their disposal, a lot of them are going to their own chiropractor. They're seeking outside chiropractic care instead of going the free route. And in fact, my cousin, who is now playing softball at Arizona State, she has had several injuries, and she's calling me to consult with, and I'm saying, well, are you going to your chiropractor? Yeah, well, they're looking at X, Y, or Z, and she had a knee injury that she was rehabbing after she had torn her ACL and going through rehab, and she was calling to consult with me over the phone, miles and miles and miles away. I'm completely in a different state, And some of the most basic things this chiropractor was not even doing. I was like, what is this person, like, why are you even going there? They did nothing. So I told her, I said, hey, go over here, ask them to do X, Y, and Z. Well, they did it, and suddenly she started getting results. And I was like, this system is just completely broken. I want no part of it. So when we're looking at people that are athletes here in the office, if you have coming from zero understanding of chiropractic realigns literally the connections in your brain to your body, so that with this athletic performance, if we're not talking about an injury, or just the athletic performance alone, you're able to now access the motor memory better and cleaner and faster. So a lot of times people say, if you're a pitcher and you're decreasing, for some reason you're not able to increase how fast your fastball is. You know, say you're stuck at 85 miles an hour, that's pretty darn good, depending on what level you're at. But just let's say you're stuck at 85 miles an hour. But you know that you can get up to, you're capable of 87 mile an hour fastball. A lot of times what happens is your body is capable of doing it, yet your brain cannot coordinate the movements to allow that to happen. So when you get reconnected up with your brain, it gets like a clearer map of motor memory map or muscle memory map. Then you can actually start to access more speed, more just literally faster hand-eye coordination. You're able to get a lot more clarity in what it is that your body is doing. And so we actually had a power lifter who increased his bench press by 100 pounds in the course of like 2 months. Now, where he was already at, he was at a very, very high level. I mean, the guy was benching 315 for 20 reps. That's insane. And in a couple of months, he went from 315, 20 reps to 405 and 20 reps. The only thing that we were doing is the chiropractic adjustment. How the heck did that do that? He even told us, like he was like, I didn't get stronger. I felt what I was able to do is access my potential. Like it was already there, but my body was holding me back from being able to access the muscle that was already there. And that's a pretty extreme example. Most people are not going to be in that guy's situation. But on a lesser degree, if you're playing soccer and you can't kick the ball quite the same, or you can't dribble in basketball with the level of coordination that you know your mind is capable of, that's because you're literally being held back. And so what we do with chiropractic is we reconnect your brain to your body, and the signals that your body is sending to your brain are equally as important, if not more important. And if those messages get nice and clean, then you're going to have success and you're going to be able to perform at a higher level. So that's why people are actually going to chiropractors, and they realize it, because the proof is in the pudding. It's not just me saying it that makes it true. It's you actually experiencing it and witnessing, oh wow, like literally my performance is better when I go to the chiropractor. And of course, every chiropractor that you go to is going to be a little bit different, and some are going to be better than others. It's just the way, nature of the beast. Anything in life, you're going to have some people that are really good at what they do, others that are less so. So you got to find that chiropractor that works with you, and you have the confidence that they're able to achieve success with you. We use a technique that is state-of-the-art. It's called the torque release technique. And what we do is we use an instrument that will help your bones to realign themselves, because we're using the nerves to do that. It's super cool, and I can go into a lot more detail when you get into the office, but you're going to love it. Athletes just crave it, and they realize how much better off they are using this type of chiropractic care compared to what they've been getting in the past. So if you're an athlete or you're a parent of kids who are going through different sports, to definitely come in. You guys, either if you're here in Northwest Arkansas, you gotta check it out. If you're in a different state, drop me a message here, and what I'll do is I'll put you in contact with someone who I think would be an excellent fit for you, and we can see what we can do moving you forward. So I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will talk to you all soon.